Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back again. Ah, gosh, it's been a while. It's been like a month or so. Yeah, I've just been watching. You know how I am. It's the main man, Professor Omni, back again. Like I said, I've been watching, seeing what's going on. So I don't know if you guys remember. We're gonna just get straight into it. I don't know if you guys. It's gonna be a short video, by the way. I don't know if you guys remember my last video. I was mentioning basically what's going on right now, sort of, or the precursor to, which was the whole Rona thing and how they involved the whole globe. It was a global thing. Some people say it's national. They're talking about it's national, but it's not. It's international. And I said that tensions will be high, and the whole world will be watching. So if these guys make any mistakes, it would be pretty bad, if not bad. And this is exactly what's happened. They've continued like killing black people, but just people of my skin tone or darker or light, whatever the case may be. I wouldn't say of African descent necessarily, because all of us pretty much stem from Africa. So there's no point even mentioning that in that sense. But yeah, there's a lot going on. My thoughts and my prayers go out to George Floyd and his family. Yeah, whatever the case may be, whatever he done or whatever he didn't do in that situation, it doesn't deserve death. The 4 officers involved, they've been charged, or I think the case is still continuing right now, but they're trying to give one of them 2nd-degree murder, which is weird because it should be 1st-degree murder. It's just, I don't even know why there's different degrees of murder, to be honest, because murder is just murder. Doing those things sort of like adds like a pinch of sugar to it, and it's like, no, don't try and sweeten it up. This is a real thing. Like, people are dying out here, and it's exactly what I said would happen. I said, if this government or whoever is involved, the elitist or whatever, all these negative people, if they continue doing this while the whole globe is watching, then there's going to be trouble. And look, now we have trouble. So it's exactly what I said would happen. Senseless killing needs to stop. Doesn't matter what nationality and what hue you are. For me, it doesn't matter. I think we're all meant to be just people and humans and one race, like I say to you guys already. So black lives do matter, white lives matter, Hispanic lives, whatever the case may be, Asians, whatever, all lives matter. And the killing pretty much needs to stop. Slavery is continuing, where people are protesting. I mean, I haven't actually gone out and protested. I've just been like viewing and observing and trying to take in everything, and because we need to be careful, because I don't know if you guys remember, but I've actually said in my other videos, like previous before, that the elites are like a boa constrictor. They're literally like a snake that will and it's something called PRS, which is problem reaction solution, and that's a tactic they use. They create a problem. They wait for a reaction, and then they suggest a solution, but the solution better fits their desires and their goals and their agenda, and that's what we're seeing here. Now, it started off with peaceful protests, marches. People have billboards, Black Lives Matter, BLM, billboards and posters and things like this, and people started getting hit with rubber bullets and things like that. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure. I mean, there's definitely more than one side to the story, but yeah, things were happening, and they still are actually happening. People are still protesting and stuff. I do hear I've been watching different news anchors and news channels, and Australia's big out here. Like, they're trying to like, they're really they're on the net basically, and they're here in England, and I think they're in America as well. They're in different places where these things are happening, and they're doing quite a lot of reporting and stuff. But then I've been watching some of them as well, and it's like, you can tell, like, I mean, right, so I'll tell you what, there was one I was watching recently, and there was this guy that came up to, I think they're like trashing, they're defacing Winston Churchill, and you know, they obviously recently they pulled down a couple of statues as well. I think there's been a few statues of some you know, what they call racist leaders, or ignorant or prejudiced leaders, I would call them, yeah, ignorant and prejudiced leaders of their day. And there was like slave owners and, you know, all sorts of stuff. And one guy, Caucasian guy, came up. He had like a, you know, old, I can't remember what to call them, like fisherman hats, you know, like little Kango sort of things. He had, well, more like a golf hat actually. I think that's probably more what it looks like. But yeah, and then he had a green, like a fisherman's coat or jacket, whatever. And he came up, and you know, people had the signs and stuff on the statue. I think it was Winston Churchill statue. And then I think he came up to the signs and tore them down and started kicking them and stuff. And then it almost caused the whole big thing, you know. And then there were some people in the crowd saying, "Don't fight, no violence, no violence," already. So they was trying to keep the peace, but you can tell there's always people, like, what I'm trying to say is that you've got people that are basically protesting for a good cause, but then in between there you have people that have a different agenda, and that agenda is the one that's being highlighted. Well, not necessarily the agenda, but those people are being highlighted. And what it's doing is it's actually flipping the page, or the script, or the scales, if you want to call it that, to the elitist favor. This is sort of what they wanted. They wanted this to be the next step. And the scariest thing about it is, for me, or for you guys, for everyone else, is that no one's really seeing the bigger picture here. And I've been speaking about this for a while. Yes, it's very good to protest peacefully, safely, securely. Oh gosh, it's hard to say don't meet violence with violence, because enough is enough. Like, I get it. Enough is enough. Yeah, I remember being stopped and searched all the time when I was growing up and stuff, just for being black, and just, you know, just being around people that are black. Simply just that is crazy. But so I get the frustration, I get the anger, but don't let them use your emotions to squeeze in tighter, because that's what they're trying to do. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Think about it like this. Human psychology, yeah. So the way human psychology works is, in this sense, in this case here, is that they've provided a problem, which was the Rona. That was the problem in the first place. They waited for a reaction, which during that's when they started to use the psychology. So the problem was the Rona, yeah. Everyone got locked down, everyone was in thingy and stuff. It started off them saying, I don't know, a couple of weeks and then a couple of months. And people was, you know, it was just like, for most part, I knew it was just like, okay, we're gonna do this. But then 3 months turned into 6. And that's where the problem started to come, because by that time people are agitated, and they only alerted us of this update literally, I don't know, maybe a week or so before, you know, before the original time time period was actually meant to be finished, like the 3-month period. So what's happened is that psychologically we get prepared, we get excited, we get angst, like, you know, anxiety, even to some degree. We get all sorts of those feelings that we process within our bodies and stuff. So it's a chemical reaction in that sense, yeah. And obviously a psychological reaction. And then what happens is that they then extend the time. So it's almost like being let down. Like, oh, okay, oh, mommy and daddy's coming to the ball game with me or whatever. and then they don't actually show up, like you're gonna have a really crappy game. You know what I mean? If that keeps happening, before you know it, you're just not gonna really. Your moral's gonna be lower. You know, everything's gonna be lower basically. So that's the psychological warfare we're in right now. And then on top of that, they've gone and killed X amount of people of my hue and darker, or whatever the case may be, lighter and stuff as well. But just people during this time where everyone's upset and angst, and you know, like you could imagine, like you don't even have to imagine, you guys know because we're all in this together. So the way that these people have used a psychological tactic, if you want to call it that, against us, we have to become aware of these things. We have to become aware of the psychological warfare we're in right now. It's not just a physical thing. It's not just about Black Lives Matter or anything like that. There's a bigger thing going on here. And to be honest, while the world is watching, the globe is watching, this is actually the best time for us to challenge these people, to stop this new world order thing that they're trying to put in place, because they are trying to put that in place. You think about it like this: they put a curfew on, yeah. They said stop hanging around in big crowds, which is another psychological, has a lot of psychological effect as well, because we are sociable creatures. We need that to actually grow physically as well. Growing up, we need interaction with our own people and other, whatever the case may be. We need interaction basically. We need socialism, and they sort of stopped that. And you could see the effect, like even walking around, most people are always in masks, so you can't really see their expressions except for in their eyes. And normally when people have their face covered, it's related to bad things like robbery and murder and, you know, bandits and all sorts of things, like basically someone who's got to hide something basically. Do you know what I'm saying? So there is like a psychological what's the word, pressure, if you want to call it that comes with that. So tensions became high, or tensions were high anyway, but they became higher. You have you know, prejudiced people in the crowd. Some of them are actually you know, chess pieces placed there by these people. I seldom get the feeling that the elitists obviously have police people in there, underlings or whatever the case may be, that will have to listen to them basically. And for all I know, they might radio in on their own personal radio and say, here, hit that person. And then when they hit the person, that's when the crowd goes crazy. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Or shoot that tear gas, or do this or do that. Like, who's giving these orders, and why are they giving orders? Is it really just to disperse the crowd? Yeah. And I think the way to challenge that and to test that, to see what's really going on, so if you want to play a psychological warfare with us, would be to stop the burnings, stop all burning, torching places, stop looting places. Just protest. And if they're still trying to do those rubber bullet stuff and trying to stop you from protesting, then we can basically see what's going on, because they've got an issue then, innit? Right, we can see it. We can blatantly see it. So that will be a good way to test that theory. And it's not even a theory. I can basically see that they're using psychological warfare, and they're using this to push the agenda of the one world government and the new world order and all that stuff. Even not so long ago, I heard that the you know, the Vatican outright came out and said before George Floyd's death, they were saying how basically this thing is the precursor to the new world order and the one world order and government, all that jazz. Now, yeah, religiously speaking, these things are meant to happen, aren't they? And I don't want to necessarily challenge religion like that in that sense. That's not what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm not trying to make it easy for anyone, innit? For these people that are trying to do this kind of stuff. And if we can actually defeat them and change this thing over and make sure it doesn't have to happen, if it doesn't have to happen, then let's do that, man. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, That's the way I see things. Like, if it doesn't need to happen, then why should we let it happen? Why should we just sit by? I think we've had enough of just sitting by and just being sheeple. Do you know what I mean? And I'm so glad that there's a movement happening. But I would just say to people just to move wiser, that's all. Because there is a bigger agenda and the government knows it, and they're pushing and pulling and like on strings and stuff, like, and yeah, I just want people to be more aware, man. I was speaking to my missus about this. Shouts out to my missus. I was speaking to her about this, and because she's quite clued up as well with these things. And my missus is Caucasian, by the way, so she's a beautiful young lady, and she's yeah, she's just a fantastic person. But one day you guys will meet her. But anyway, yeah. So yeah. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that we need to band together. And you know what? I'll tell you what I do like. What I do like to see in this whole protest scenario, the scenario right now, that this reality we're in right now, where we're protesting, we're fighting back, we're fighting the power, which isn't really the real power. We're the real power, but we're fighting these elitists basically and the system. You know, I'd love the fact that there is every hue under the sun there. I love it. Yeah, from the pale to the dark, beautiful. I think it's amazing, and they're all there together, front lining, standing together. People might be asking me why I'm not protesting. I'm not really into protest, to be honest. I'm not really into protest. I think they're good, but like I said, like before, look what's happening. Because the thing is, I can see the bigger picture in that sense. I can see protests are good, but then there'll always be saboteurs to push the agenda away from where it should be. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Now I'm all for protest, but we need to get to a point societally and globally and socially where we, as the people of Earth, unite in a way. Like, the protest will work basically if we unite under one cause. We have to have strategy, and it has to be a global strategy, if you know what I'm saying. It has to be a movement, like a proper movement, because right now we're getting protests in quite a few states and quite a few countries and stuff like that all over the world, which is really good. But then you know that not the whole world is doing this, because some of the countries, right? So for instance, neighbors, yeah, my neighbors, right? My neighbors are cool as far as I'm aware. One of the ladies brought back a friend when me and my little one was leaving the house, and what happened? So basically, we were leaving the house, and she brought her friend. So there was another female, but she was from Pakistan or whatever, so she won't speak in English. She probably could do though. But when she saw us, she started speaking. I said hello to the neighbor. She said hello back, smiled or whatever. Her friend started speaking to her, and she said something in a language, and then she said Gala. Now I know Gala means black, but I know it's in a derogative, term or form, or energy. I didn't say anything. I could have, but I'm saying something now to you guys. So I know that the ignorance it still exists on a global scale. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Even though everyone's banded together and stuff, I can see that it's still here. I do like to see the change that's been happening. Steve, when you go, don't lock the door, please. Yeah, so I can see the global change happening, but at the same time, I don't know, man, I could just feel there's loads more prejudiced people out there. And I think the scariest thing about it is that, like I said to you guys before in previous videos, there's constantly people dying and constantly people being born. Some of those people dying, and the people that are being born into, or leaving behind a ignorant and prejudiced and fearful, basically, legacy. So they're either born into one or they're leaving one, and they're sharing, like the ones that are leaving those kind of you know, systems and lifestyles, they're basically leaving behind this legacy, which is fear things that you don't understand, for the things that you're not aware of. And that's exactly where we are right now. People are in fear of things they're not aware of. You know, this is why we have these segregations and people looking down and elitism and, you know, capitalism and all these things. It's fear-based, you know. And I would love to see us as a race, as a human race, get to the point where we can no longer let fear dominate. You know, I'm not saying to be fearless, even though that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think that takes a lot of awareness. Yeah, because I have fears, but I'm at peace with them. That makes sense, and I'm in control. Like, it doesn't bother me in that sense, because I know that I'm not putting myself in any situation where those fears can come. Do you know what I mean? And if there was, when I do have fears, I normally just translate, or I don't know. Yeah, I sort of transform the energy, because it's an energy, innit? Fear is energy. I transform the energy into something positive, something love-based. Yeah. So I would love for you know, those prejudiced people out there, whatever the color, hue, whatever they may be, to wake up to these kind of truths, because right now you're scared. That's what it is, basically. Bottom line, no matter how big you might think you are and all the money and all the power you might think you have, you're scared, pretty much. Yeah. No matter how much you hate on you know, blacks or whatever, even though I'm brown skin, I'm a brown hue. My hair's black just about, you know what I mean? In the sunlight, proper sunlight, it looks kind of brown, to be honest, like the tips and stuff. So yeah, my retina's black, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, so I don't know, man. All of this stuff is just so stupid. For me, it's just so stupid. Everything is just so stupid, like fighting and war, and do you know what I mean? Like, it's just so stupid. Everything's so stupid. Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get none of this, to be honest. This world don't really make any sense, to be honest. It needs to grow up. It needs to learn that, you know, there's a better way to live, and with that better way comes a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, a lot of joy, a lot of adventure. Yeah, a lot of progress. Like, we're way behind as a species, way behind. Think about it. Look how, imagine if we had no friction. Yeah? No friction at all. And we was just free energy, just boom, 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 boom. Do you know how far we would actually be right now as a species? Like, literally. We would be a lot further than we are right now, and that we should be. We would maybe be, like I said to you before, like a type 2 civilization. Yeah. Possibly even a type 3. I don't know. We'll see, mate. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be nice for us to wake up anyway, because yeah, the world's in a dire place, and I can see the world's waking up. It's desperate for change, you know, which is good, because for the most part people are good, you know. Most people are good, you know. Yeah, my missus puts it in this way: there's not good or bad people. There's people that have less or more trauma, you know, less and more distress, and, you know, depression and whatever the case may be. Like, it's to do with pressure and stuff, basically, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, actions, I suppose, can be either good or bad actions, you know. And by good or bad, I mean destructive or creative, you know. So yeah. I think it's fantastic. I think you guys are fantastic. Yeah. Keep up the good fight, guys. Try to stay away from the violent side of things. Do not, all right, I'm not condoning violence or nothing like that, but I think from now on, if we can try and avoid letting these police do this, if there's anyone around and then people are just filming it happen, if you see police, yeah, if there's enough of everyone around, yeah, as soon as we've had this whole riot stuff, not riot, but the whole sorry, they're calling it riots, it's in my head now, the whole protest thing, right? Now, like I said, the whole globe is pretty much watching, yeah, whether they're involved in these protests or not, the whole globe is watching what's happening, because it's massive. This thing is a big thing. It's like literally, this is historical right now, yeah. So if you do see police officers, right, whether you know the person around you or whatever, if you're across the road walking and you see someone, whatever the case may be, right, if you see police officers pressing down on people, right, try to go past the fear of being arrested. I know I'm not trying to get people arrested or anything like that, yeah, but if you see them and they're potentially like pushing on someone's neck and killing them, and they're not responding to you saying you're doing that, like get off of them, push them off, force them off, because at the end of the day, police are people as well, innit, right? They're not above us. They're meant to be upholding the law, not meant to be like taking the mick. So if you see them taking the mick, get them off. I'm not saying to beat them silly and stuff like that, just push them off so that the person has a chance to live. Okay, don't just stand there and say, oh no, look, he can't breathe, oh get off him. That doesn't help the situation. People still die, and I'm not blaming you guys for it at all, but I just think there should be more action now. Like, I think I pray that I never have to see those things, but I pray that also if I do ever see those things, I would have the guts to push the cop off, because I'm not letting no one die in front of me. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I just can't do it, and it doesn't matter. I don't care what they look like. I can't physically see someone die. Like, I don't want to see that ever. So in that situation, please guys, I really appeal, and I hope that please share this video if you can, because I want this message to be spread globally, possibly. Like, I don't know, I'm not like, hardly anyone knows me really on here, but I don't care. Like, if you guys know people that know people that know people, just spread it out, please, because it's so important. Like, we need to get to a point where we're stronger as a people, you know. We are the power. People are the power. It's power to the people. We literally are the power, guys, literally. And we need to fight for our rights, man. And don't let, if you see anyone getting bullied by police, yeah, and the police have got them down and they're twisting them up and they're doing kicking and stuff like that, that's when you get involved. Do not let it happen anymore, guys. Just like how you guys were pushing up the police and stuff and hitting the police back and knocking them off with the, I heard a policewoman in England, sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but a policewoman in England, she got knocked off a horse, or she fell off a horse or whatever, and then the horse like kicked out, and then, but the thing is, the horse kicked out and then it ran and it hit someone in a protester as well. Maybe it's just like a standing by or whatever. Knocked them down. I don't know if it was a woman or a guy, but yeah. So we can't let this happen anymore. And I think we've proven that we're not scared of you know, like sort of standing up for our rights, for our human rights, you know. So yeah, don't let these people try it. And the whole abolishing the police thing is interesting. That's the next thing I was going to talk about. So remember the boa constrictor thing, like I was talking about, the snake, yeah, this deadly little vipery creature, yeah, right, which is the elites, which is this shadow government, or whatever the case may be, right? Right, so with abolishing the police force, it does sound like a really good idea on the surface, but you've got to remember, guys, there's going to be a replacement, and they've already showed you the replacement. Donald Trump has already showed you the replacement, which is what I'm trying to say. This is this scary thing about this now, because he's basically sent in the military, right, to deal with the protesters and the anarchy, right? Because they're outside the White House now as well, Washington, yeah. So he's basically calling the boys, the mob, to deal with it. Now, those are exactly the same mob that will replace the police if the police go. And I'm not saying that we don't want the police gone, we do, but then we're gonna have to deal with the army. Now, if you think about the army are used to killing. Police officers, some of them, yeah, they're used to killing. They shot a few people, or they've been shot at or ready to tear. They've heard stories and all that stuff. But these guys in the military, they're around war and people getting limbs blown off and everything. So their psychological state is far different than the average person that's just going around living life normal. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, because even police, you know, they have a normal life to some degree. You know what I mean? So this is the thing I'm talking about, guys, man. It's not a joke. Like, these elites are like, they're literally like a cobra or a viper or a boa constrictor. They will. The more you struggle, is the more they squeeze. You know. And I just want people to be more aware. I'm not really sure of the solution just yet. I'm still trying to process everything. But I think we can definitely make some steps, at least, to protect ourselves more, you know, as a race, yeah, as a human race. We need to protect ourselves because these people ain't got our best interest at heart. I think it was America, yeah, it's America as well. They whacked the riot shield people, police people. They whacked a cameraman. Just chilling there. He was literally just chilling there filming. They whacked him in the stomach with the what do you call it? The round shield, riot shield, plastic, and it was thick plastic, like proper thick plastic. You know, you could see, and the guy went oof, like it hurt him, and then he punched at the guy in the shield, at his camera lens and stuff as well. You know, and then the guy ran off, and then they tried to hit the woman. It's a good thing she had a bag on her back, but they tried to hit the woman with the truncheon as well, baton or whatever. But yeah, man, you see what I'm trying to say? Like, these people don't care, innit? And you've got to remember, there's love and there's fear in it, and these people are operating on fear. Like I said, they're humans at the same time. So even though they're trying to fulfill a role in a job, their job has also got them shook, which is also probably why they're shooting and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's all based on fear, innit? So and it doesn't take away anything from what they've done. You know what I mean? Like, what they've done is wrong, and people are losing their lives, and they're losing their people are losing their family members and you know, their loved ones and stuff over this. You know, like, for years you're around your loved one, your siblings, whatever the case may be, and then the next minute they're gone. Do you know what I mean? Like, what the hell? So my love goes out to the family of George Floyd. And all the families, to be honest, like all the families, there's some that are probably not even spoken about just yet. You know what I mean? Like, some that are still not even, like, imagine how many are swept under the rug. Like, you know what I mean? Like, think about it. Who owns the police force? Like, who owns them? Who owns the military? Who owns all of these people? Who owns the bankers? Who owns the banking systems? Who owns, think about it, guys. It boils down to a few peeps, just a few people, a few scared, fearful idiots, fascists, dictators, capitalists, eugenicists. They don't care about human life, which is stupid, because human life is amazing. We're meant to be the caretakers of this earth. I'm not saying the earth can't survive without us, it can. We was put here to caretake, we was put here to do things and to look after the place. And we're raping the place, and it needs to stop. We're destroying each other's lives, and we're warring against each other. We're seeing each other as different because of how we look. Like, we're one race, for God's sake. Do you know how long we've been here on planet Earth? Do you know how long we've been here? A long time, innit? Like, a long time. Longer than they say. Like, our type of human race. Like, not flipping Cro-Magnus and all this other stuff they talk about, yeah? Because those are a different race. They're not us. I'm talking about humans, right? We've been here for a long time, so we've seen a lot. We should have learnt a lot. You've got idiots out there that are obviously working for elitists and their own agendas as well, I suppose, that are going out and destroying old history, yeah, archaeological history and archaeological artifacts and you know, monuments and everything. Yeah, they're just destroying it. Yeah, because they're trying to get rid of history. But history is there to prove, to teach us the lesson to not repeat. And this is exactly what's happening. And black people have having to deal with ignorance from our you know, ignorance from our, what do you call it, our pretty much our children, our grandchildren, for 400, 500 years, who knows? See what I'm trying to say? They're our grandchildren. We're their ancestors, and we're being treated like this. We helped build pretty much everything. People of hue. And that's not to take away from people that are fair skinned, because I love you all. Like I said, my missus is fair skinned. I don't see colour like that. I think colour is beautiful. I think black and white look so nice together. Like, not black and white, but brown. Well, black and white look nice together, but brown and whatever colour they are, fair, brown and fair. I don't know, dark and fair. I'm not sure how it would work. They're not white, I'm not black, so yeah. Paper's white. You can get a white bag. Plastic can be white and black. Yeah, you know, this cup is black. Silver as well, but black. Yeah, I'm not black. Look at me. They call me black. If I was black, I'd be shiny as AF. I would love to be black. Look at that. It's a beautiful colour. Could you imagine? I would actually love to be black. That'd be fantastic. Do you know how much shine I would have? Oof. The amount of melanin I could pull in. I'll probably have superpowers. Like next level superpowers. We probably got superpowers now, but because we all know Superman was based on black people anyway. Get our power from the sun, you know. Next level, mate. But I don't think no one's better than anyone else though. Everyone's got something to give, and that's the whole point. The whole point is everyone has got something to give, and it shouldn't be bloody ignorance. It should be something that is positive, something that is constructive and not destructive. It should be something that is going to benefit the whole community. It should be something that is a selfless act. Yeah, that's the way we need to think and feel and be, and then we can defeat anything. If only people would realize, man, all this fighting, all this war and all this fear and all this other stuff is just, it's so long. It's holding us back so much, man. We should be so far now. We should be, as a species, we can like potentially take our own planet, even though it probably set things out of line. We could probably put something in place. Take our own planet and travel with our planet. Like, we literally should be able to do that by now. Our whole planet should be able to travel to a different place. See what I'm trying to say? And these things are possible. It sounds a bit wild and a bit crazy and like, bro, what are you talking about? But no, come on now, you guys should know me by now. I ain't playing, I ain't joking around, innit? Type 2, baby. Even type 3, I don't even know, man. We've been around for a minute. We haven't learned the lesson yet, which is why things are happening all the time, over and over and over again. Why there's always a reset button. And it's a bit annoying to have to keep coming back to try and help the world grow to a place where we can, you know, go past that limit. We need to get to the point of no return, but in a good way. Right now we're doing it in a bad way. Yeah. It sucks, man. But yeah. My love goes out to all the families that's been affected by this. Well, all of us have, to be honest, but directly affected, you know. Even John Boyega was out there as well. You know, young man from Attack the Block and Pacific Rim, and he's been in some other things as well. I'm just not very familiar with all of his you know, his work. But yeah, he was out there protesting as well. Because the thing is, that's what I'm trying to say. This whole thing, Rona included, has humanized everyone. Do you see what I'm trying to say? It's put everyone at the same level, in the same boat, in the same page, or whatever. It's put us all together. Like, everyone got affected by Rona. Like, everyone had to stay in, you know. So this thing is a global thing. It's basically, it's a perfect opportunity for us to make massive change, like massive change. I would love to kick out all the governments, to be honest. That's just me personally. Get rid of all the governments, man, and just have rules that we can just live by as people. You know what I mean? Like, don't harm anyone. You know what I mean? Like, help where you can. Get rid of the money system and bring back trade so that agriculture will grow and stuff, and then Earth will be happier. Like, literally, this will be a good thing. Like, we can get rid of fossil fuel and then all that stuff. Leave the black blood of the earth alone. Leave oil alone. Even though it's there's loads of it, but still, it doesn't matter. Just leave the earth like that alone, man. It don't, like, and then, because a different mindset will basically, all right. So basically, what right now we've got a lazy mindset as a species. So what a different mindset means is that your technology will be different because your mindset will be different. So right now we're sort of seeing glimpses of that when they started bringing out the whole you know, eco-friendly technology and things like that. You know, we've got hybrid cars and we've got fully electric vehicles and things like that. Yeah. So with those things, it's a good start, and that's to do with a psychological mindset. You know, that's because they were seeing a problem and they wanted to create a solution. You know, but with what do you call it? With this mindset I'm talking about, what will happen is that would happen with everything, not just with the ecosystem, you know, not just with the environment, but it will happen with everything. It will happen with you know, with jobs. It will happen with opportunities, like life opportunities. It will happen with in terms of, my missus doesn't say equality, she says, what did she say again? Economy? No, I can't remember what she said, but it'll come back to me. But basically, you know, it's about giving everyone a fair chance, because there are people out there that don't, that maybe not have the money or whatever the case may be to go to, or the opportunity, let's say, to go to uni or college or higher learning education, things like that. Yeah. But they have a lot to give. You see what I'm trying to say? They have a lot to offer. And I'm starting to see more of a somewhat sporadic change in that, I would say, somewhat. It's nice though. It's nice to see little pops, like little changes going on. It's interesting. Where, you know, like, art is being more appreciated, and people's talents and gifts and skill set is being more appreciated, but it needs to happen quicker, because when we get to that point, guys, the whole point of me saying this is, when we get to that point, is that you know, what it does is opens up so many doors in terms of where we can be as a species, you know, as a race, like where we can be. Like, boy, technology right now might seem really wow and fantastic and stuff, and life might be like very wow and fantastic and stuff, but in reality it's not. And I think this Rona has proven it. In reality, like, the Rona has shown, and this whole time or whatever as well, has shown that hardly anything has really changed, even though they've given us this different, like, tech and all these different ideas and all these different shows on TV and all this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you got given all these different things, but then reality struck and it brought everything home. And now everyone's starting to think and feel things differently. People are starting to check themselves more. People are starting to look around more and to evaluate and think more, you know? And that's important. But in order for us to get there, to this blissful place that is real bliss, like real truth, not ignorance, we need to band together, guys. We need to band together and just become one with each other. Get rid of all the negatives. Yeah, learn to love each other, learn to be kind with each other and kind to each other, and just to respect each other and to give each other a chance. Yeah, learn to control your own emotions, your own feelings, guys. Yeah, a person who can control their emotions can actually conquer a city. And I'm not talking about with violence, but just in terms of any challenge that city has to give, you know. So guys, I love you all. I'm so sorry about all this craziness that's happening right now, but it's great change, and there is no coincidence. So everything like this needs to happen, sadly and happily as well. It's weird. It's like, yeah, there's pros and there's cons to this whole situation, this whole scenario I'm in right now. You know, there's life, there's new life and things, and there's also death, and it's really sad that there is the death, you know, but that is also part of life, which is sad again. For now. it's part of death for now, but yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I mean, I hope that this message gets through, and that you know, people get to sort of take in what I'm saying. I don't even know how clear I've been all over the place, because it is emotional as well, and it's quite a sad time, you know, but I don't know, I just want everyone to be okay, you know. My heart goes out to, you know, all the families, like I said, that have been affected by these things, because it's sad. Yeah, I lost my nan during this Rona time as well. It wasn't to do with the Rona, of course. It was to do with just old age, and I think actually it wasn't just old age. I think she had she had something like a stomach cancer or something like that. I only just found out recently. That's why I'm a bit vague with the details. But yeah, but she lived a long time. She lived to 94, so that's like almost 5 generations. That's brilliant. She's seen a lot, and she was dancing and happy to the end, pretty much. So yeah, shout out to my nan. I love my nan. Yeah, she's a good person, so I know her vibration is raised to that heavenly state. So I know she's cool. Yeah. And shouts out to all of those people that are past. Listen, if you guys had a good positive energy, you guys are in a better place than we are right now, mate. So I'm happy for you in that sense. So yeah, shouts out for you guys for making it. Yeah. I hope you guys are completely happy and at peace where you guys are. Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, because don't forget, energy can't be destroyed, guys. Energy can't be destroyed. It can only be transferred and changed. So can only translate into something else. So it's always energy, okay? Yeah, so I love you guys. That's pretty much going to be it for now. I just wanted to it's been in my heart, you know. So, and I wanted to make a video for a while, but I think I was just still processing things. I was still just like, you know, trying to deal with everything, because there was so much things happening, do you know what I mean? Like day by day, week by week, month after month, you know, like new things were happening. Yeah, I love you guys though. I love all of you. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, guys, but yeah, like, share and subscribe. Yeah, prayers goes out to all of you guys. Stay safe on these streets. Yeah, protest but peacefully. Protect each other, because you guys are the power. We are the power. Protect each other. Don't let these other people you know, do anyone in your sight. Yeah, from now on, we don't let that happen, okay? It's not gonna happen anymore. No longer, guys, are we gonna stand and just video record you guys choking someone out, or kicking someone, or stamping someone out, or hitting them with truncheons. People, wake up, arise, and do not let this happen anymore, because it's not good. It's not on. I'm not having it, so you guys shouldn't have it, okay? All right, peace. I love you guys. Stay safe. Peace.